The first time you watch Frieren Beyond Journey's End, it quietly charms you. You enjoy the peaceful storytelling, the calm music, and the soft, spoken characters. It feels different, almost like reading a warm novel, instead of watching a flashy anime. But it's only when you rewatch it that the brilliance of the show truly hits you. You begin to see how Frieren is unlike any fantasy anime that has come before. It doesn't just break the rules of the genre, it rewrites them completely. And in doing so, it becomes something much deeper than a regular adventure series. It becomes a quiet meditation on life, loss, and what it means to keep living after the adventure is over. In most fantasy anime, you get thrown into an exciting world full of magic, strange creatures, and epic quests. There's usually some chosen one, a powerful villain, and a long journey leading to a final, world-changing battle. But Frieren does the opposite. The story starts after the final boss has already been defeated. The hero party has saved the world. The adventure is over. What we're left with is the aftermath, the years and decades that come after the grand story ends. And in this quiet space, Frieren begins to tell a very different kind of tale. The main character, Frieren, is an elven mage who has lived for over 1,000 years. She's not bubbly or loud or full of energy. She's quiet, detached, even a little emotionally numb. When the story begins, she returns to her peaceful life after saving the world alongside her human companions. But as the years pass, those companions grow old and die, and Frieren is forced to confront something she's never truly understood: grief. Unlike humans, Frieren doesn't experience time the same way. A decade feels like a blink to her. A friend's entire life is just a moment in her story. And because of that, she never really appreciated the relationships she had while they lasted. When one of her closest companions dies, Frieren starts to feel regret, not because she lost him, but because she never truly got to know him. That realization is the real beginning of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. The journey is no longer about defeating evil. It's about understanding life, connecting with others, and learning how to care in a world that's constantly changing around her. One of the biggest surprises in Frieren is how it handles magic. Usually, in fantasy stories, magic is all about power. You train hard, get stronger, and unlock flashy new spells to defeat stronger enemies. But in Frieren, magic is something else entirely. It's not just a weapon. It's knowledge. It's learning. It's curiosity. And it's deeply connected to the everyday experiences of the world. Frieren doesn't go around blasting enemies or showing off. Instead, she spends her days collecting spells, hundreds of them. And many of these spells aren't for fighting at all. Some make flowers bloom in different colors. Others make tea stay warm or clothes smell fresh. They seem useless at first, but they actually show how magic is tied to normal human life. These spells are little memories, little joys that make life feel real. And through them, Frieren shows us that true magical strength isn't about destruction, but about deep understanding. The way Frieren treats magic also mirrors how real-world knowledge works. You don't become wise overnight. You study. You read. You explore. You try. And slowly you grow. Frieren has lived for centuries, and in that time, she has quietly gathered more knowledge than anyone else. But she never stops learning. Even though she's one of the most powerful mages in the world, she's still fascinated by new spells and magical theories. Her love for magic isn't about gaining power, it's about discovery. That mindset completely changes how you see the world of Frieren. Magic becomes a symbol of human or elven curiosity, creativity, and the simple joy of learning. Another powerful aspect of the show is how it uses time. In most anime, the story races ahead. There's always something big happening, another villain to defeat, a new power to unlock, a big twist around the corner. But Frieren takes its time. It slows down. It gives space to silence. It lets you sit in quiet moments, watching the sun set behind a mountain or seeing characters reflect on something that happened decades ago. Time becomes its own character in Frieren, beyond Journey's End. You feel the weight of years passing, the distance between memories, and the slow shift in emotions. The anime isn't afraid to let entire years go by between episodes. And this slow pacing isn't boring. It's beautiful. It makes every moment feel more meaningful. It helps you understand why Frieren behaves the way she does and how much pain she hides behind her calm exterior. The best part is watching Frieren change, not through huge emotional outbursts or dramatic events, but through small, tender shifts. She starts to ask more questions. She begins to open up to her new companions, Fern and Stark. She remembers moments with her old friends that she once ignored. And in doing so, she grows. She becomes more than just a powerful elf. She becomes someone who truly values the people around her, someone who cherishes each moment instead of letting it slip away. One of the most heartbreaking things about Frieren is that she never got to tell her old companions how much they meant to her while they were still alive. She never laughed at their jokes. She never shared her feelings. She just existed beside them, distant and quiet. But through her new journey, she tries to do better. She takes what she's learned and uses it to be more present, more kind, and more human. This deep emotional growth, combined with the anime's quiet pacing and thoughtful storytelling, is what makes Frieren so different from other fantasy anime. It's not trying to be flashy or intense. It's not trying to impress you with big action scenes or dramatic plot twists. Instead, it gently invites you into a world where the adventure is not about fighting monsters, but about understanding people. And that's the genius of Frieren DD Beyond Journey's End. It flips the entire fantasy genre on its head. It starts where most stories end. It makes magic about learning instead of power. It uses time as a quiet teacher instead of a ticking clock. And it builds its emotional weight not through shouting or crying, but through quiet moments of reflection. The show teaches us that life isn't just made of big, epic moments. It's also made of small memories, of warm tea, blooming flowers, old letters, and shared smiles. And even if someone is gone, the impact they had can stay with us forever. Frieren learns that too late with her first group of friends. But she carries that lesson with her now, and through her, we get to learn it too. On a rewatch, these themes hit even harder. You notice how often Frieren stops to watch the sky, or how she holds on to trinkets from the past. You see the pain in her silence. You understand her regrets, and you cheer her on as she tries to live a more meaningful life, even after centuries of solitude. In the end, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, isn't just a fantasy anime. It's a soft, powerful reminder that even the quietest people have the deepest thoughts, and that every day, no matter how ordinary, can be a part of something magical. It's a show that doesn't shout to get your attention. It whispers. And if you listen closely, you'll hear one of the most touching stories anime has ever told.